Have you ever wondered what really separates rich people from ordinary people? Warren Buffett, the man who turned every penny into billions, gave an answer no one expected. In a speech that left the audience in absolute shock, he revealed what really matters when it comes to money. And look, it has nothing to do with magic formulas or inaccessible secrets. In fact, what he said could turn your financial mindset upside down. Want to find out what made even the biggest investors get up out of their chairs? Then stay with me, because what you're about to hear could completely change the way you think about wealth and, what's more, give you the tools to start making real money. So, you've heard of Warren Buffett, right? He's one of the richest investors in the world, but what's really impressive is how he built his fortune. It didn't happen overnight, you know. He started very early on as a teenager, buying a few shares here and there. The most curious thing is that he never focused on getting rich quick, but on making smart decisions, thinking about the long term. That makes all the difference when you want to make real money. Buffett has a very different view of the market. He has never been carried away by fads or passing trends. A classic example was when he invested in Coca-Cola in the 80s. At the time, it wasn't the most modern company, but he saw its long-term value. Today, that decision is still paying off for him. This shows that to make money, you need to really understand the business. Don't bet everything on what's hot right now, but on what's going to be strong in the future. And this applies to our own financial management. Now, something I find very interesting is Buffett's lifestyle. Did you know that even though he's a billionaire, he lives very simply? That teaches us a lot. He has always reinvested his profits, rather than spending them all. It's that thing about making money work for you, you know? And look, anyone can apply this in their daily lives. Instead of spending on things that lose value, how about investing in what can bring you more income in the future? Another point that Buffett always defends is education. He reads a lot, like all the time, and they're not just any books. They're books that make you think more about how to make money and manage your money intelligently. One he always recommends is The Intelligent Investor by Benjamin Graham. If you want to start understanding the world of investments better, this book is a great place to start. You know, that knowledge that seems to save you from making the wrong decisions? Well, that's exactly what it is. But the coolest thing about Buffett, at least for me, is how he deals with crises. While most people panic and want to sell everything when the stock market falls, he goes out and buys. He sees these crises as a chance to buy good companies at a lower price. In other words, instead of running away from difficulties, he goes up and makes his money go further. That's quite a lesson, isn't it? Take advantage of the downturns to grow. And the most incredible thing is that all these ideas he applies can be taken into our lives too. You don't have to be a great investor to think like this, whether it's stocks, real estate, or any other type of investment. The important thing is to understand that every step taken now can generate passive income in the future. And that's when it gets interesting, because you start to see your money growing on its own. When it comes to making money, the first thing you need to bear in mind is that there is no magic formula. But there are some ways that can help you get started. For example, one of the most important tips is to have several sources of income. Depending on a single job or business is risky, because if something goes wrong, you run out of options. A practical tip? Think about the skills you already have and how you can turn them into extra income. It could be teaching online, selling a product, or offering a service that people need. Another thing that's super important: if you really want to learn how to make money, you need to start investing. And investing is not just in shares or the stock market, but in yourself. Study, take courses, read books. The more you improve yourself, the more you increase your chances of earning more. And speaking of investments, it's always good to start with something you understand. For example, if you like technology, how about researching technology companies on the stock exchange? Or if you're interested in real estate, you could start studying about it and see where you can invest. Now, something that not many people talk about is the value of networking. Yes, knowing how to make money often depends on who you know. Opportunities appear where connections are made. So Don't be afraid to approach people who are going in the direction you want to go. And look, it doesn't have to be formal or complicated. Participating in common interest groups, events in your field, or even social networks can open many doors to new income opportunities. Another practical tip is to learn how to sell. No matter what you do, knowing how to sell is essential to making money. It could be a product, a service, or even your own professional image. Selling is everywhere, and if you master the skill, doors will open. A simple example: if you sell an online course or an ebook, you're selling knowledge that can generate passive income while you sleep. So investing a little time in understanding how sales work makes all the difference. Finally, always bear in mind that patience is a great ally. Making money can take time, and consistency is what will get you there. If you start now with small actions and adjust your strategy as you learn, the results will come. Don't give up at the first hurdle, okay? A good example is to start with small investments, even if it's a small amount of money, and reinvest the profits. Over time, you'll see how this can grow. When we talk about how to manage money, it sounds simple, right? But in practice, a lot of people get bogged down. The first lesson anyone needs to understand is you have to spend less than you earn. It may seem obvious, but it's a very common mistake. An easy way to start controlling this is to write down all your expenses. It can be in a notebook or on a mobile app. The idea is to know exactly where your money is going. This helps you to have a clear view of what can be cut or adjusted. Once you understand where your money is going, it's time to set aside a portion to invest. And here comes a fundamental concept. Pay yourself first. This means that before you spend on anything, you should set aside a portion of your money for investments. This could be a percentage of your salary that you put into an emergency fund or into investments that will bring you a return in the future. This is the secret to starting to build a solid financial foundation. Another important tip on how to manage your money is to set clear goals. It's no good just saving for the sake of saving. You have to have a goal. It could be buying a property, traveling, or even ensuring a peaceful retirement. The important thing is that these goals are realistic and within your reality. And of course, whenever you achieve one, don't forget to set the next one. Financial management works much better when you have a guide to follow. And there's one thing that not many people do, but which makes all the difference. Review your accounts periodically. Life changes, spending changes, and if you don't adapt, you end up losing control. Doing a financial checkup, so to speak, helps keep everything on track. You can see if any expenses have increased without you realizing it or if you have any opportunities to save. And whenever possible, renegotiate your debts and contracts because the money left over can be reinvested. Another golden lesson: have an emergency reserve. You know those unforeseen events that crop up from time to time? Well, they can bring down your entire financial plan if you're not prepared. Ideally, you should have the equivalent of 6 months' worth of your cost of living saved for any unexpected situation. This prevents you from having to resort to loans or credit cards with very high interest rates. And when you have the security, your relationship with money changes completely. The truth is that managing money isn't a big deal, but it does require discipline. And the sooner you start applying these lessons, the easier it will be to achieve your financial goals. In the end, what you need is consistency, which leads us to think about how to use these lessons to generate passive income, right? When we talk about passive income, many people think it's something far away, only for those who already have a lot of money. But the truth is that anyone can start generating passive income as long as they have a good strategy. The concept is simple: make money work for you, not the other way around. A very common example is investments. When you put money into shares, real estate funds, or even your own business, you create a source of income that will pay you, even when you're not actively working. One of the most popular ways of generating passive income is through share dividends. If you invest in companies that pay dividends, you receive a share of their profits on a regular basis. And the best part, these payments can grow over time as you reinvest what you receive. Of course, to do this, it's essential to study the companies well before investing, making sure they have a good track record of profits. This way, you can build up a portfolio that pays you a steady income and, over time, can even become your main source of money. Another interesting way of earning passive income is through real estate. Buying property to rent out, whether it's an apartment, a house, or even a commercial room, can guarantee you a steady income every month. The key here is to find good opportunities at a price that allows you to charge a rent that covers your costs and still make a profit. But remember, it's important to consider all the costs involved, such as maintenance and taxes, so that the business is really profitable. If you prefer something more digital, creating online products is also an excellent way to generate passive income. This could be an online course, an ebook, or even YouTube videos that monetize with ads. The advantage of this type of income is that once you've created the product, it continues to generate money for a long time, without you having to be directly involved in the process. It's as if you put in the effort at the beginning and then let the income flow over time. For those who like to diversify, another tip is to invest in investment funds. There are various types of funds on the market, some focus on shares, others on real estate, and even fixed income funds. The interesting thing is that when you invest in these funds, you don't have to worry about managing the investment, as there is a professional manager who does this for you. And of course, over time, you receive your share of the profits generated without having to do anything else. The great thing about all this is that when you start generating passive income, your relationship with money changes completely. You realize that you don't have to rely solely on your salary to earn money, which gives you much more freedom and security. And the next step is to know how to put these ideas into practice, isn't it? Now that you've understood the concepts of how to manage your money and generate passive income, the big challenge is to put it all into practice. The first tip is start small. Many people think they need to have a fortune to start investing or generating extra income, but that's not true. You can start with what you have now, even if it's a small amount. The important thing is to get into the habit of investing regularly. Start by setting aside a percentage of what you earn and put it in a safe investment, such as a fixed income fund, for example. Another important thing, define your goals clearly. What do you want to achieve with your financial management? It could be paying off a debt, buying a property, or even achieving financial freedom. When you know where you want to go, it's easier to create an action plan. Divide your goals into small steps and focus on one at a time. This helps to keep you motivated and makes you realize that you are making progress, even if it's little by little. A practical tip is to use financial management tools and applications. Nowadays, there are several options that can help you control your spending, monitor your investments, and even give you tips on where to improve. One example is Guia Bolso, which organizes your expenses and shows you clearly where your money is going. With this view, it's easier to identify areas where you can save or reinvest. Another important thing is commitment. There's no point in understanding everything about how to make money if you don't have the discipline to stick to the plan. Constancy is what will ensure that your income grows. Set aside some time each month to review your finances and see if everything is on track. And if something goes wrong, adjust. Don't be afraid to change course, as long as you don't lose sight of your goal. And last but not least, seek constant knowledge. The financial market is always changing, and the more you know, the more likely you are to make good choices. Read, take courses, follow experts. A good example is following YouTube channels focused on finance or reading specialized blogs. The more you learn, the more confidence you'll have in making smart financial decisions. Now that you know how to get started, the next step is to apply these lessons consistently. There's no need to rush. The important thing is to stick with it and gradually see the results appear. This will help you build a solid foundation for a prosperous financial life. Now that you've heard Warren Buffett's words, the question that remains is, are you going to let it pass as most do, or are you going to turn these lessons into action? Remember, financial success is not for those who just listen. It's for those who put it into practice. The next step is in your hands, and the opportunity to build your own passive income starts today. So don't waste any time. Subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and get ready to continue receiving more valuable insights like this one. Who knows? Maybe in the next video you'll discover what's missing before you finally achieve financial freedom. Are you ready to take that step? I know you are. Let's go together.